she never be pretending. Nothing is real. She gon' tell you what she bought it, cause she know you can't afford it. Know you can get it.
Hello, welcome everyone to the eSpot with Camille. I am your host, Camille Cower, and I am so excited for you guys to meet the A Team, also known as the Austin Gray Design Group. There are three wonderful designers that came together to work on the Kaleidoscope Project. So they're going to share a little bit how they got started and how they got involved with the Kaleidoscope Project and how we're all going to be together as the Avengers. We're going to all join forces down in Dallas and have a wonderful panel all about design, all about the Kaleidoscope Project. But first off, I'm going to go alphabetical order this time. So, Denise, tell me how you got started with the Austin Gray Design Group. And welcome. Thanks for being my guest today.
Oh, you're so welcome. Thank you for inviting us. So, I actually started out having another company, and it was called The Organized Home by Denise Gordon. So, it was focused on home organizing and a little bit of decorating. I then stumbled onto Tanya Lewis and made her be my friend and learned a lot about her. I know, right? I learned a lot about her and her background. And from that, I learned that she did go to school for design. So we started to work together. And then a little bit afterwards, it was something that made sense to sort of, evolve into more of a design firm. And we wanted to do something that spoke to both of our passions for helping others be successful and loving to sort of collaborate and really kind of having finding a way to have a full complement of services to offer clients. And when I met Tanya, it was at a time that I was ready to sort of take that next step. So from her suggestion, she said, I think we need to have this company name be something else other, than you, if it's going to be about something bigger. So along came Austin Gray Design Group. And if anyone's interested, Austin is the name of the street that I grew up on when I was a child. And that is also Tanya's daughter's middle name, spelled differently, but same thing. So both kind of at the core of, what we're about and where we're from. And Gray, that's a longer story, but the short version is I have two boys. If I had a girl, I wanted her to be named Dylan Gray. The Gray kind of just always stuck with me. So I didn't have a girl. So
So, this is your baby instead.
exactly. I'm gonna start using that. So it's Austin Gray, and Design Group is really just a broader catch-all because again, we wanted it to be all encompassing. So that's kind of how we came about, and it really is that next step from where I started.
Okay, so we hear how Denise and Tanya came about. So, Marilyn, share how you became part of the Austin Gray Design Group, became part of the A Team.
So through a mutual friend, I was introduced to Tanya. Immediately, I shared with you for goal that Austin had, and I within days I met Denise, and the three of us began talking about our passion for design, our interest in Black women, and the fact that, at least from my experience, design is sort of an isolating work experience. I have my own design background, but what's involved in have other people that I did and so that, we work together on client projects, but also on shaping the the market of Oscar Gray, and I became more immersed in that mission of creating or as referred to as collaboration. It's one of the things that I really love about mission and wanted to be part of it. And then, progressed from there. We worked together to project. We also our own aesthetic vision, and I think that work with clients, I think that that comes through as a collaboration as opposed to the expertise of one
Mm. Now, speaking of collaborations, I'm going to pitch this question to Tanya. Tell us how you got involved with the Kaleidoscope Project and how did it start off as far as this, I guess, figuring out who decided which part of the project to do? Because um, just to back up a little bit and even explain a little bit of how the Kaleidoscope Project works, because I'm not sure if they've watched previous episodes yet or not, so they might not know exactly what the Kaleidoscope Project is and what fun project you guys got to work on together up at the Lennox Inn.
Sure. So the Kaleidoscope Project is the brainchild of our loving Amy and Patty, and they had decided that they wanted to create something that would highlight the talent of people of color in the design industry. And so there were, crazy events that occurred, and ultimately there was this huge inn that had been built. There are two properties. One was built in the 1800s, one was built in the late 1700s, and it needed to be renovated. And the idea was pitched, why not use this as a show house? But instead of it being something that was only there temporarily, it would be there in perpetuity. And it would give an opportunity for designers from all over the country, from all different backgrounds, but of color, to show the work that they do. And the only guidance that we were given is there are three general, not color palettes, but fields, so you can be in this field, you can be in this field, or you can be in that field. And other than that, go for it. Do what you do and show the world your talent. We were very fortunate to be approached because Amy said she saw us on the internet, which we have like 1,000 followers. So to us, I was like, huh, really? Okay.
Go where you're celebrated, right? Just go with it, right?
Right? And
right.
so the strange thing is, a lot of our journey has been, it's been divinely laid out for us, because we had wanted to be in a show house. Right before the pandemic hit, we were invited to participate in one, and it shut down, obviously. As soon as we got our ducks in a row and said, yes, we're going to do this. So this was something that we had been hoping for.
Mm-hmm.
Completely out of the blue.
Oh, we lost Tanya.
Yeah, no, I can hear you, but I can't see you anymore. That's strange. Okay. I'll make sure to edit this part. Not yet. Maybe just because all I can do is hear you. I don't even see you in this. Oh, there you are. Oh, I see you in two places. Let's see which one works. Nope.
I see you guys.
That one doesn't work. Maybe maybe restart your reboot it, because it's showing weird. I don't know.
Oh, there's Marilyn.
Oh.
Where's Marilyn?
Oh no. They're all dropping like flies.
It's okay.
Yeah. Well, we were 4 and now we're 2.
That's all right. I'm the fun one.
I'm gonna tell them you said that when they come back.
Right.
No, I'm kidding. Your secret's safe with me. And the recording.
Right.
Just got to remember to edit this part out. It would be really funny if I didn't. Okay, we got Tanya back, and I can
Yes,
see
ma'am.
her. There she is. All right, let me
All
get your
right.
name showing again. And then we lost Marilyn too, so I'll just wait for her to jump
Do
back
we
in.
have to start all over again?
No. I'll just, because I can crop that out.
Okay.
No, I can edit that out. That's why I was having my finger over the camera so I would remember to edit that. Because there's no way I'd be able to do that again. I'd be like, AGDGDG? ACDC? No, I'm kidding. But where's Marilyn? Uh-oh. Maybe the truck's got her. Just kidding.
Did you hear her?
No, I don't hear her or see her.
It just disappeared. All of a sudden, it was just the three of you. Like it just went away. I don't know.
Oh, there she is. Okay. You're back. Okay.
Okay.
And we're back.
Now we're in
Okay.
different. But are we in different?
Yeah. That's fine. I'll know exactly where to cut back in. So that works for me. All right.
Okay.
All right. So we had some technical difficulties and now we're all back. So we left off explaining about your about how you came about with the Kaleidoscope Project and just the working on the rooms and the collaborations in that sense. So if you would just keep going with that, Tanya. Thank you.
Sure. So yes, we were found on Instagram. And one of the things that we appreciated is that Amy and Patty not only loved our work, but loved the mission and the business model of our company. And true to form, the first thing that Denise and I did after we were approached is thought, who do we bring on to this project? And Marilyn, who, when you get to know and love Marilyn, she knows everybody. She's been everywhere. No matter what you mention, she will have some personal reference to it, i.e., where you're from. Oh, yeah, my family's from it. No matter what you mention, Marilyn has been there. She's like the Forrest Gump of interior design. And so we knew that we wanted to, in a good way, in a great way.
No, you need someone like that. They're your phone a friend whenever you need it, right?
Yes, she's the phone a friend. And so we decided, Marilyn's definitely one of the people that we need to bring on to this project. We also, because of the space that we were designing, it had some outdoor space that was too small really to put furniture. And we wanted to put a floral installation. And one of the people that we partner with, one of our partners is
oh no.
Oh, here we go.
That's so weird.
She was about to say floral designer.
We'll just keep going because I can still hear her and we'll just keep going and see.
Okay.
Where'd she go?
Camille can
Is she
still
there?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Camille can still
Yeah, I can still hear you.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, because we can't see Tanya right now, I'm going to go ahead and move the next question because, I don't want to, I want to be I want to make sure that I appreciate the fact that we have a small time to work with because this is a work day. So I want to make sure I respect your time and the people that are watching as well. So I'm curious, with working on a project that was built in the 1700s, 1800s, it also meant that there was some restraints there. There was some areas you could, there was no construction that you could do or different renovations that you kind of were limited in. And I think so many times people don't realize that it's a big undertaking to do all those different renovations and how expensive they can be. So being able to work in such a limited area and not be able to do all those renovations, you can still make a brand new space out of it and be very creative. So how did you ladies divvy up the different responsibilities on working on one space, but three different cooks, so to speak?
Yeah, so I can start off. It's interesting because we get this question on, we've gotten this question a few times about, how did we work together, and who did what, and how did that all work out? And when we say collaborative or collective, like it truly was a group effort. We didn't, it was the largest room in the inn. And when we saw it, we were like, okay, it had a lot of angles and quirky things, and definitely it was old. And, it was easy to agree on what had to be removed based on what we were allowed to remove. And then how the room was going to be laid out was a series of, Zoom calls that we all participated in. One of the, I think actually what was pretty awesome with this project was that we had an intern, and they provided interns from different design schools as to the designers if they wanted to have an intern. So we had an intern, and she lovingly joined us on all of our marathon calls. And basically we talked about, Tanya and Marilyn visited the site before we were able to, and this is myself and the intern, and then kind of took us on a FaceTime walkthrough. And then when they came back, and then we got to see it again, the concept, or the design concept and scheme, started to really come together. And the conversations happened all together. And when we decided, okay, this is what the design is going to be, that's when we said, okay, whose lane is art, and whose lane is scale, and whose lane is color, and who's, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And that's kind of how we assigned the work, but the pie had already been created. So it really was a group effort, and not everybody always agreed, but it was, we all respect each other for everything that we bring to the table. And that's hard to find when, you don't always sort of get what you select, right? Or one person has something that the majority likes over the other, or even if you do have a great idea and everybody celebrates, like it all, in the end, it all came together. And I'd like to say we survived, and we were real proud of what we created.
Surviving is the best part, right? So that's definitely the goal. And I'm curious, with working on the Kaleidoscope project, you didn't really have a client, so to speak. So you were able to kind of just design from your dreams in that way. And you also had sponsors to help with providing some of the elements as well. Was there ever a point where you were just like, okay, I am just going to go try something completely different just to give clients an idea that this can be done? What was your aha moment, or your special, like, this is what I want people to know, that this is what we're known for, or this is our statement piece? Can you share what that is? I'll have each one of you share that. And since I just spoke with Denise, we'll start with Marilyn.
So I think, first, just briefly, I want to speak to, you are correct. We didn't really have a client, but we tried to create a guest profile. Who was going to be coming to stay there? How long would they stay? Where would they be coming from? How would they enjoy the space or experience the space after we're gone? So from that standpoint, we did think of that. And I think that helped us to not just anticipate who would be coming, but how we'd want to receive them in a way that they would say, aha, this is a great surprise, dovetailing into the next thing that you asked. And I think that we took some liberties and experiments with color. I think we chose a deep, rich color. If you visit any hotel, usually the walls are white or ivory, ecru, cream. We selected a really bold, deep, rich color for our room. I think in the whole inn, there wasn't any, no one took the kinds of opportunities that we did with color. The walls are deeply sloped in that room, and we took an opportunity not to ignore them, but to amplify those walls with wallpaper it's a gold leaf wallpaper with hand applied rice paper lily pads. I know that's a little hard to explain, but
Sounds magical.
but the other wall, we were talking about this yesterday. We used these ceramic lily pads also. They were handmade ceramic lily pads that we affixed to the wall. And Tanya will probably be able to go into more explanation about how that came about. But those were opportunities that we took to enhance a guest's experience in the room. And our hope is that not just that they would take away, wow, what an awesome job Austin Gray Design Group does with interior design, but for them to take away an unforgettable experience of staying in Lenox, Massachusetts, regardless of what the season would be. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, we wanted this to be a truly unforgettable experience for the guest.
I know. I can't wait to see that in person. Ceramic lily pads and the wallpaper in gold.
Tanya can give you, just an immense sort of tour through some of the. It's those are the things that we did on the wall, but a lot of her ideas came through with the furnishings that were included in the room, and those were things that you're not going to walk into a showroom and see those things. They really are all one of a kind furnishings that were her inspiration.
Well, Tanya, she threw the ball to you, so I would be dumb to not let you pitch it or hit it out of the park. So please, I can't believe I'm using sports analogies. If you know me in real life, it never happens. I left sports radio because I was like, I don't know what I'm talking about. And now here I am using I don't know what's happening right now, but sorry if this is going over anybody's heads because it's definitely going over my own. But needless to say, I definitely want to hear more about your furnishings and your art. And so please, Tanya, share. What was your thoughts behind all of it?
Well, I think one of the things that we as a collective do, and I am personally very passionate about, is sustainable design. We like to find furniture pieces that have beautiful lines and have, seen their day, and how can we bring new life to it in an innovative way that is going to be that pop for the room and lends itself to the eclectic look that we often create. And so here we had an opportunity to use pieces that have been sitting in our storage for some time. And one piece in particular is a vintage Ethan Allen couch. And it was not Denise's favorite. And I'm going to put that out there because it was really sad.
Okay. So she was vindicated.
Really sad. It was from like the 1996, and it had that 90s green velvet on it. It was really sad. What we were able to do with the sponsors is get some fabulous fabric. And so we covered the entire front of it with fabric by Perennials, white. And then the back was wrapped in a floral print, Clark & Clark, that we were able to get. And it's a very traditional English floral print. But when you look from the front, you have no idea that the back is wrapped. And it's like a surprise when you walk behind the couch. And it made the shape of the couch pop. It made it look from sad to really one of the highlights of the room, at least in my opinion. And I loved the opportunity because not that many clients would be like, yeah, sure, wrap the back of my, my couch and a floral print from England.
What could go wrong?
Lovely.
Yeah. I'm sure I'll love it.
Right, exactly. But now
Yeah.
seeing it, I think people might say, this might be something that we do. Maybe it won't be a full couch, but certainly the back of a chair or something where it has a real amazing pop with a very bright, vibrant fabric. So that was my ultimate favorite. I felt so free to be able to do that. And everybody could tell I was giddy, just giddy. So I was explaining to the upholsterer, I was like, and then I wanted to do this. And then I want you to not be able to see it. And he said, oh, okay. And even he was surprised. It came out really nice.
See, there you go. And that speaks again to not necessarily having a client there to stop you, so to speak, from being the mad scientist that you were meant to be in this house or in this inn. Now, for Denise, what was your like staple piece or part that you felt was the exciting piece in your room?
I honestly, again, it all came from our conversations. Like all of our conversations just sort of, birthed an idea for every single piece in the room. I don't have a favorite because I love how all of them evolved into, sort of their, their new state. And I will say that, I did not like the sofa. I had seen the sofa in other parts of, its day.
You're like, it was in the warehouse for a reason.
Standing on its side. And then Tanya was like, well, it has the same lines as the bed. I was like, okay.
She's stretching. Yeah.
That's what she does, right? Yeah. So I acquiesced. And she, got her mad scientist thing on and made it, amazing. Mm-hmm. There were two slipper chairs that were in the room facing the fireplace. Mm-hmm. And that was, again, another Tanya, look what we got from an upholsterer who's closing down their business. And our, master craftsman contractor come in with these pieces. And I was like, you know what? I'm sure they are going to look lovely someday. Okay, so they were sitting in our storage for a little while, and Tanya was like, those would be perfect. And I was like, okay. We got fabric again. We used fabric from Cravat and Perennials and sort of took the same approach with having sort of a sort of a hint of a metallic tweed on the back. Of each of the slipper chairs, and then like a blue, it's not light blue, but it's I guess light blue, velvet on the front. And just similar to what Tanya had sort of imagined with the sofa, there's piping on the sofa actually that sort of mirrors in the particular part, the fabric that it sits near. So we sort of carried that through to the chair as well, to both of the slipper chairs as well. And when we had to get those chairs out of storage and the little spider was crawling out, I was like, these things better look good because that spider crawled on me. I don't do bugs. Okay.
Me either.
Okay.
You just risked your life for this house as far as I'm concerned.
I did. Okay. So I digress. So I love that. There's, another desk that Tanya and Marilyn were on the phone trying to track down because one of the requirements was that the room needed to have a place for you to write. And they found this amazing desk and we were like, what color paint? And I don't remember who picked the paint color, but
you did.
You did.
Okay, so I did. I picked
so humble.
Right. Well, I actually don't remember. It was a lot of Zoom calls.
Well, I mean, it's a lot of collaborations too. So
right.
that's
So we picked navy, and we used fine paints of Europe. And when we got that back, all of our mouths just dropped to the floor. We were like, "Oh my god!"
It was an antique kidney shaped desk that had been somebody's grandma that they sold to us. it was really in sad shape, as you know,
Yeah,
it would be at that age.
right. But the lines just
The
continued.
line.
The lines, because the room was so angled and sharp, and our goal was to really soften it up. And like Marilyn talked about, for the guests to really have, this restful and relaxing and, reflective experience, kind of like the mood board they shared with us. And the best way for us to have done that was through texture, but also through the lines, of all of the furniture pieces. And that's what we were able to, to do. And, but it all just sort of worked together. I don't have a favorite part. All parts of it are like, I love, because I actually love to see, the finished product.
A plan come together, to quote the 18.
Yeah.
Right?
Even after I'm like, wow, Tanya, that, that green, not sure. So, it all came together. And I have to also say, Marilyn is the adult in the group.
It's true.
Every group project needs one.
I'm just
Denise
saying.
and I'll get to bickering, and she'll be like, "Well, what I think I hear you saying."
So she's the design whisperer too.
She's straight up the adult in the room. So when it came to, I just don't really think. I'm not sure about the sofa. I know the lines, but you can't get the green. If you had seen the green and you had seen those slipper chairs the before, maybe someday we'll be brave enough to share them with you. That's what gets stuck in your head. And you really do have to be a visionary. And it Marilyn had to help translate some of those conversations.
Well, that's also the importance of making sure you find a designer that can speak your language, but then having a group means that there'll be several different people that are working to get that goal. And luckily you had the translator, mediator, and Marilyn involved as well. So I want to
Camille, let me first of all vouch for the fact that these pieces that we're talking about, they really were truly ugly. There is no, they were ugly.
Well, that says a lot.
I had my doubts, but going back to another thing that Tanya often references is that I think that as a group of designers, we trust each other. We set aside our ego and even our personal styles. We had a brief discussion yesterday, and I was pointing out that I think that if any one of the three of us had been charged with designing this space on our own, it would be a completely different space. I can look at that room and acknowledge that I'm truly proud of the end result, though it might not, though everything in there might not have been what I would have done if I were doing it on my own, without collaboration, without, bouncing ideas off of other people. It would have been a different room. And I think that any one of us would have done something completely different. I wouldn't have reached for ugly vintage furniture and seen the vision in it, but Tanya really did. I think that in the selection of like she talked about the sofa, it really is like you're seated in a beautiful English garden. And I might not have come to that. I might not. In fact, I loved the fabrics. I couldn't imagine where they were going to go until that idea emerged. I think that we talked about having a deep, rich color. And if I go back and look at the original ideas that we had, submitted with each other, all of my ideas were these really light colors. As I referenced before, hotel rooms and inn rooms are usually, some sort of shade of white, whereas the color that we selected, I kind of can't unmarry myself to it. It is just rich and deep and beautiful. It's beautiful in the day. It's beautiful at night. It's just a gorgeous color, and I think that all of those things contribute to making this a truly memorable space.
Oh, fantastic.
And
I want to make sure. Oh,
I just wanted to add one thing. The reality is that we all elevate each other. So yes, none of us would have done that room, but we elevate each other. There's no way that I brought in floral, Denise brought in metallic. Who would have put that together? But because
Yes.
we each bring that, we bring something in, it becomes a room that does become magical, and it really reflects the collaborative nature. And I don't want us to not mention that the muse of our room, the room we named it, was named after the late great Cicely Tyson. And so there was that British colonial in there because of her background, and the richness and the strength of her was what we were trying to reflect in the room. And so there was some method to our madness, but it was a little bit of, most of it just madness, but there's a bit of method to it as well.
This is the method.
But the three of us enjoy each other. We enjoy each other's company. We enjoy, going back and forth. We enjoy, well, I have a thought and saying something crazy, and the other person saying, no, that doesn't make sense. And the third person saying, well, let's try it. And we go for it. So
I can imagine every day was a fun day working with all three of you. So just to make sure that everyone knows how to follow you or reach out to you if they're interested in having you now design their home, where can everyone reach out to you or find out more about the Austin Gray Design Group? I'll start with you, Tanya.
Sure. Well, we are on Instagram, as our handle is Austin Gray Design Group. We also have a website, which is www.Austin Gray Design Group. There you'll also see, when you go to our partners, Marilyn is listed as one of our partners, and you can then reach her directly through that link as well. Sure. And so we would love to hear from anyone. You can DM us, or through our info section in the website, you can reach out to us.
Perfect. Now, any last words or parting words before we leave? Because we'll see everyone in Dallas, or they'll see this after Dallas, depending on how it all works out, because it's a lot to undertake. Because it's 24 different designers that were involved, but only 12 will be at Dallas Market. And you're one of the 12 or 11, excuse me. Right. So, Marilyn, did you have any last things you wanted to share? Or
I just would reiterate to people, definitely visit the Austin Gray Design Group website, and also our Instagram. I think you'll get a sense for some of the other projects that the group does, but you'll also get insight into our personalities and the way we interact with each other.
Yeah, I think they'll be very bored with your personalities and not entertained at all. And we'll have a really hard time finding a way to communicate. So how about you, Denise? Any last parting words for our guests?
I guess I just want to say thank you. I mean, it's been a journey for me to sort of get to a place where I am able to work with people who I trust and who I care about deeply. And, it's where I experience the same. And for people, when they invite us into their homes, I just, this is what you get, right? You get the crazy, but you also get the people who care about, what we do, and understand, why we do what we do, and why you would invite us in to help make your home special. So I thank them in advance for hiring us, but also for bringing us to them. And hopefully we get to meet you in person as well.
Looking forward to it. Well, thanks again for everyone for joining the eSpot with Camille. Make sure you follow along at CamilleCower.com, or you can reach me also on Instagram at TheRealCamilleCower. Thanks again for tuning in. This is the eSpot with Camille.